There's some stuff that people do that blows my mind. I don't get how this world can be so cruel. I don't get how people socialize. But the kindness and the positive vibes that you can give us can make our day.
Welcome to Positive Vibes. I'm Nicki Dennis. This is where we uplift voices that challenge the norm, where we remind each other that who you are is never something to be fixed, but something to be celebrated. And today's guest brings that message loud and clear. Sam Mitchell is the voice behind the successful podcast, Autism Rocks and Rolls. He's a motivational speaker, an entrepreneur, a blogger, merch creator, not-for-profit founder, and is a powerful reminder and example of what happens when you stop trying to fit in and start showing up as you are. Sam is proudly autistic and he's on a mission to spread awareness, bust stigma, and prove that success doesn't come from being normal, it comes from being real. He's delivered a TED Talk titled Soul Structure, featured in the top 200 podcasts in Canada, won a Davey Award, and even made the top 10 People Choice Podcast Awards. But beyond the titles and milestones, Sam's most passionate about one thing, reminding people that kindness always wins and that you can thrive exactly as you are. Sam, I'm so excited to have you here today. So let's jump in.
All righty. I'm ready to jump into.
No worries. So, Sam, you've built such a powerful platform with Autism Rocks and Rolls. But let's go back a bit. What inspired you in the first place to start the podcast?
Well, it really just started when I joined my high school's media club, and I fell in love with the media club so much, I decided to start my own podcast. I didn't want to wait till college to expand my skills, and that was when Autism Rocks and Rolls was born.
Oh, that's fantastic. So you're very confident of who you are. Have you always felt that way, or was there a moment when something shifted for you?
No, ma'am. No. It was really through my sophomore year is when I gained the self-confidence, because after 15 years, I just felt like garbage because of the way society treated me. And I got so much over it that I decided I was going to quit people pleasing. And if you didn't like me, the door was right there. And ever since then, it has been the best change of my life because I'm more happier. I gained a lot of friends. I gained self-confidence. And I would also say that I've been able to feel more accomplished because of what I was able to do with that change at 16 years old.
Oh, that's amazing that you stepped into who you are at 16. Not a lot of people can do that at that age, but yeah, that's amazing. So just on that, what does it mean to you personally to be successful with autism, not despite it?
It means that I can help out others who are in my boat who don't feel successful. Because there are a lot of challenges I don't think you can understand unless you are on the autism spectrum. I mean, you could probably understand why wearing a wet t-shirt stinks. But I can't understand why those on the spectrum can do it. I don't think you probably can because you're not autistic.
No.
It's not saying I'm not saying I'm a wonderful person. I'm just saying I don't think you can relate.
Yeah. So just
or dare I say, understand why it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah. So just on that further, Sam, there are so many misunderstandings and stereotypes around autism out there. What's one big myth or misconception you wish more people would let go of?
That we are actually human beings and those on a spectrum are capable of something, regardless of what understandings of the world we have. I mean, I could give tons of stories and tons of examples where there have been people who, okay, you talk to them, they have the mindset of a 3-year-old, but you get them somewhere, like on America's Got Talent, switch goes off. They're a genius in the room.
Yeah, and that's a true reminder. We're all human, and we've got to accept each other with complete respect and kindness out there. So thank you for that advice, Sam. And how do you, or how can kindness, something so simple, actually help people better understand and support those with neurodivergent?
You can make our day because I'll just be real with you. The world is not meant for us. There's some stuff that people do that blows my mind. I don't get how this world can be so cruel. I don't get how
Mhm.
people socialize. But the kindness and the positive vibes that you could give us can make our day
Mm,
because we actually saw someone gives a crap about us because most of the time people don't from our experiences. I'm sure those with autism or some people who are listening can relate because I bet they've been through some hardships too in their life. And it's been to a point where there was, in their mindset, one versus all.
yeah. That's so true what you're saying there, Sam, and it resonates with me. It's just that act of kindness and to actually see people for people and acknowledge them can, have a ripple effect in someone that day. So thank you for sharing that with us. So just on that, you also talk openly about mental health. Why is it important for you to include those conversations alongside of autism awareness?
Well, partially because I have mental health conditions too. I have anxiety,
Mhm.
I have depression, I've had a lot of just mental health challenges, and sometimes they're affiliated with autism. I also have ADHD. I know that is considered mental health, but I think mental health is so important because it's a taboo to talk about it for the stupidest reasons alive. It's a taboo
Yeah.
to talk about getting help. Are you kidding me? That's the in my mind, that's a world I don't want to live in.
Yeah.
That needs to stop.
Yeah.
And since one's going to take the initiative, it's going to be me. Or there's going to be a lot of people that do, but they only going to do so much. All right,
Mm.
let me step in then.
Yeah. And that's amazing. And despite all that, Sam, with what you've done, you've had some amazing guests on your podcast. You've created your own merchandise. You've landed sponsors, which is major. So, what's kept you motivated and grounded through all that?
Well, I think I've always had a business mindset growing up. I mean, I remember during school dodgeball tournaments wanting to sell lemonade or making milkshakes just to satisfy people, even though people didn't really treat me with respect. Oddly enough, I guess my heart was in the right place for some reason. But anyway, it was just from that mindset because I've always been driven to work harder or do something different and not just go into the dodgeball tournament, do more than just that.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. I just don't want to play dodgeball. I want to play dodgeball and have some fun, but let's do something else with it. I know
Hmm.
it's kind of weird and kind of went off the bat, but I hope that.
Oh, you've just frozen there for a minute. Yep, I can hear you now. Yep.
I just say hope it. I just say I hope it made sense. I was kind of going on a tangent there.
Yeah, no, that's great, and I think it's beautiful what you said that you were making milkshakes for people even though they didn't respect you. So through that, you were still showing acts of kindness to people that probably didn't deserve it because of who you are. So that just shows your authenticity and who you are as a person, and hopefully that kindness would actually rub off on them and have a ripple effect. So that's beautiful. So, Sam, for someone listening who feels different or misunderstood or unsure about themselves, what would you say want them to hear today?
Well, I think what you need to do is realize that there's a lot of people on Earth. I think
Mm,
the last I looked, 8 billion, maybe 2 billion. I'm not for sure. I think 8 billion. Don't correct me though on that. But anyway, the fact is, for the longest time, I thought all 8 billion people would find me non interesting. Now I realize, okay, that's bull. That is
mhm,
a load of bull. I should have seen that a lot sooner. But now I see, okay, 8 billion people on Earth. One person out of 8 billion people is going to find you interesting. It's unrealistic to have 8 billion people not find you interesting. It may be someone you not expect. It could be Nicki Dennis, for example. It could be a 2-year-old. It could be a World War II veteran. Who knows? It may
Mm.
not be your ideal match, but it's going to be somebody. In my eyes, somebody is something. And as they say in the world, something's better than nothing.
That's so true, Sam. We're all got made up of all different DNA, and we bond with different people because of that, and our makeup and the way we were brought up. But again, that just takes one person to be kind and like you. That's all it means. Yeah. So thank you for
Right.
sharing.
And I just realized too, it doesn't have to be just humans. It could be something
Yeah.
else. It could be even an animal, a dog, your cats that you have, a horse. In your case, and I don't know if that's just a person, but for you, it's a bird.
Yes.
It's something. It's
Yeah.
something. And that's all I think you can ask for at the end of the day. That's should not be too much to ask for, is just wait for the person to find you interesting. It's going to happen. It happened by double digits and it was late, but again, better late than never.
Yeah. And that's a nice reminder, saying that it's not just humans, it's also animals, it's humanity, that, is showing that kindness and love to each other to actually feel that connection. So you're so true in what you're saying there. So what does kindness always wins mean to you, especially in the world that sometimes feels harsh and judgmental?
Well, kindness always wins because let's just be honest. Karma can bite you in the butt. When you're kind, it doesn't. I mean,
Mm.
you've seen the Dar Man stories probably on Facebook before or somewhere on YouTube, and it's a story about okay, they pick on a disabled person, but what happens? The bully always loses.
Yeah.
Somehow. He may lose his girlfriend, or he becomes the next victim. So somehow it doesn't win. Kindness wins because people leave you alone. You actually get liked more and respected. Plus, kindness leads you to somewhere. Could lead to a date. Could lead to you being a boss. Could lead you to money. Could lead you to fame. Lead you to responsibility. Lead you to life adventures. Where does the other path lead? I'll tell you where. Homelessness, possibly. Living in the slums. Or even worse, not really liked. And that's not a life I don't think anyone wants to live. Even the grouchiest person alive, at the end of the day, I know is awful because they're still sad because of that lifestyle. But I have also no sympathy because they also may have made their bed there.
Yeah. And also doing acts of kindness as well, Sam, it makes you feel good as well. So it's a win-win, don't you believe?
Oh yeah. Yes,
Mm.
yes, ma'am. I've done some kindness of acts. I volunteered once at a community kitchen, and at the end of the day, I felt good. I watched several episodes of the World's Strictest Parents, and on the World's Strictest Parents, a lot of times they do community projects to
Yeah.
help people. Most of the times for elderly people, but even the snobbiest teens who go on there, most of them at least, at the end of the day, feel good, helped out this person who, if they try to chop their wood, they try to chop their own wood, they break their back.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a win-win, doing acts of kindness. It's makes you feel good, but it makes the other person feel great as well. So, Sam, what's next for you and Autism Rocks and Rolls? Is there any exciting goals or dreams coming up there?
Well, the first is me recovering from the cold I got. But in all seriousness, we do have a poker run coming up this weekend. It's a motorcycle poker run. I get to hear motorcycle sounds all day and get to apparently do someone with poker. I have a hard time understanding the concept of the event, but it's still fun. We have a summer concert up in Pontiac, Illinois, because our board president lives there, and he always likes to put on our events for us sometimes up there. And then I'm trying to think of what else. We have a couple of events we usually do through a pumpkin patch. It's a special needs night where children with special needs can come and visit pumpkin patch because sometimes they do it in a regular setting. It's a disaster waiting to happen. And then well, not sometimes, but our other event is we sell food at our local pumpkin patch to keep the funds going.
Mm-hmm. Wow, there's a lot on your plate there and a lot of good initiatives there to help people. So that sounds great, Sam.
Right. And then
So,
I just thought of, before I don't mean to interrupt
yeah.
you, I just thought of, I do have a commercial out on YouTube. You're more than happy to check that out. And
Yep.
then I'm also a new children's producer of an online children's television show called The Gina Mitchell Show.
Wow, you're really busy, Sam. That sounds exciting. I'm sure our viewers will go and check that out. Yeah, that sounds great. So, Sam, can you tell our listeners one act of kindness that you'll never forget that's happened to you?
Well, one act of kindness is people reaching out to me to get equipment and starting this nonprofit. Literally, the person who was my first sponsor really helped me grow this by making this a nonprofit with a board of 6. I'll never be able to forget that because he made what Autism Rocks Rolls is today. I did a little bit of the work. He did some of the work too, though. I
Yeah.
can't forget that. I'll never be able to forget that. If I did, I'd be selfish.
That's a great acknowledgement to that person that helped you, Sam, because you've developed a beautiful podcast and platform for people to listen to and go to and feel that they're not alone in the world. So thank you for sharing that. And what about a song, a quote, or a motto that gets you through tough days? Is there something that you go back to now and again?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of songs I listen to, but it's mainly because of just I listen to a lot of songs that you would like to listen to on a rainy day. But one recently that came to my mind is the Iris Goo Goo Dolls, but it's not really together, kind of separated. Some goes like, I don't want the world to see me. I just want them to know who I am. And it's probably not like that word for word, but it's similar around those lines. But that's one for you right there.
Fantastic. And in one sentence, Sam, what does positive vibes mean to you?
Positive vibes mean really people who have energy that are happy.
Mm, that's lovely. Thank you for that. And Sam, you've mentioned before about some of the work that you've done, but where can our listeners go to connect with you, support your podcast, and check out your work?
You can find me on your favorite media platform. Not a hard guy to find. My website, though, is Autism Rocks and Rolls. If you Google me or search engine optimization, something will pop up. I'm not a hard guy to find on there. Trust me. I've done the research myself. I promise you.
Thank you, Sam. And finally, what's your message to someone who still is learning how to celebrate themselves?
I would say a message is who's still trying to learn is I'm proud of you for taking the first step, but you have to realize that at the end of the day on your own, because I can give you all the encouragement, but you have to do your self acceptance first before anyone else can help you out. You did the first step, but you got to do one more step. You got to finally say, okay, I have to accept myself for who I am. They don't like me. Boo on you, because that's what I did. I
Mm,
swallowed that pill, and I'll be honest, it was the hardest pill I ever had to swallow, but it was so much worth it. And once you swallow that pill, whew, a lot of weight will be lifted off your shoulders.
that's wise advice, Sam. And it also gives a lot of people hope out there that are struggling to accept themselves. But yeah, it is a big step, but it's also being kind to yourself to accept yourself. So thank you for sharing that. So, Sam, thank you for showing us that what authenticity looks like, and for being proof that success, kindness, and courage can absolutely coexist. You've reminded us today that labels don't limit you, beliefs do. And when you replace fear with kindness and shame with pride, there's no limit to what you can create. So, thank you, Sam. Thank you for being here and sharing your wise advice to those out there today.
I appreciate the opportunity for coming. Well, I appreciate the opportunity for letting me come on. It was a fun time, and just please just be kind to one another and try to share more positive vibes in the world. Trust me, it's a better world when there's more positivity than negativity.
Absolutely. Yeah, so true. And to our listeners, wherever you are on your journey, whatever makes you different, lean into it, celebrate it, because the world doesn't need more normal, it needs more you. This is Positive Vibes. Let's keep building a world where inclusion isn't just a trend, it's how we love, how we lead, and how we lift one another up. Sending you all love and positive vibes. Bye for now.